mentioned PJ Tucker being the glue guy, and it's someone that we kind of talked about all season is, coming in and giving us that energy. So after the Spurs loss on Saturday, their doc had said that Tucker was kind of yelling at the guys in the locker room, just saying that no one's going to give him wins, and that we have to want it more than the opponents. So my question is, it's good that we have that guy, that kind of voice in the locker room. But my question is that too early to have that kind of locker room talk in the season for Tucker to kind of go off on the guys like that? Is that too early for him to kind of do that to the guys?
I mean, not when you're coming in with expectations to win the championship. No. I mean, we weren't in the locker room. Doc said it, right? Isn't that who put it out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, other teams may have conversations like that. I mean, you look at the team out west. You think they don't? You think it's too early to have conversations? I mean, it comes down to
team out west. He calls.
Yeah, it comes down to, it comes down to being 0-3, and fixing that. So I'm sure that PJ, or at least I hope PJ, wasn't the only one that had something to say. I would hope that other people could be disappointed and wanted to right the ship. So PJ might have been the one that started the conversation, or the more vocal one, but I'm just hoping that he wasn't the only one. Because you got to have some of those guys that's taking all those shots be a little more vocal too. Because the one thing that being vocal does is it puts pressure on you to have your actions meet your words. Because if you really want guys to tune you out, go in that locker room talking and don't let your actions match them words.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's why.
That's how you. If you want to know how to lose a locker room, that's how you do it.
That's why I'm so glad it was PJ that said those things, because
that's how you lose a locker room.
Talk about a guy who leads by example. PJ is a guy who puts it on the floor every night. So if someone can't,
anybody can say it and anybody can do it. It's just a matter of, those, the action and words better match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't tell people to dive on floor for a ball or play defense and you don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he is the guy that would do it too. So yeah.
Those are just examples. It could be anything. I'm just saying, I just hope he wasn't the only one. It's good that they went there and a win the next game came from it, and a good win, and a team that they were better than, and they showed it from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. Now, can we carry that into this 3-game trip, and 3 games in 4 nights, or whatever it is?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I wish I hope more people were jumping in there and saying that and agreeing with it rather than just listening to him. But it's a good guy to come from. I love that it came from him. I wonder if he's sitting there going, man, should I have stayed with Miami?
I mean, I think that, he's won championships and with Milwaukee, and had a really good year last year with Miami. And he's an older guy that's been through a lot, and his journey has taken him a lot of places. So he gets it. I mean, his time, his urgency is different too.
Yeah, it's true.
Trying to pick people up and lead by example and kind of tell them, show them how fast this thing goes. And when you do have an opportunity to make it to the finals, or make it to the conference finals, or make it to the, whatever it may be your goal is, those opportunities aren't just given to anybody in the league all the time. I mean, it's only 4 teams out of 30 that make it to the conference finals.
Yep.
So we keep pressing about this team getting to the, past the semifinals. Well, there's only 4 teams that do that.
Yep.
So these games that we're playing now, they just seem like those beginning of the year, that stuff matter, man. Like we said last year, we were tied.
If we're tied this year, we're going to be looking back.
We were tied with 2 teams.
If we're tied,
same game difference.
We'll definitely be looking back at this game at the end of the year, being like, that damn San Antonio game, man. That damn San Antonio game we should have won.
And the number one seed wasn't too many. What were they? 2 games or so, 2 or 3 games ahead of us? That was close. So
it goes back to what I was saying about the get right game, right? I mean, it's pretty much what he was alluding to. Like, you have to get it, though. It's not just because you're due for a win doesn't mean you check in and like, all right, guys, no, you're the better team, so we'll go ahead and give you that win right there. I think we're playing like we played in that game, the first 3 games, like we believed our own hype going into it. Like they were already making like the parade, arrangements. And I just think there was a little I'm glad we got humbled a bit, to be honest with you. It's necessary. I wish it could have been a close game against San Antonio instead of us getting dominated, but the harsher the loss, the bigger the reality check is, right? So I'm in a way, I'm glad it happened, but it sucks to watch it happen. There's just way too much talent on the team, and I think PJ knows that. And a lot of things need to happen to get right, and it's not just the players. The coaches have to get the rotations right. We got to crash the glass. I think we need to know when to kind of unleash Maxey. I think Maxey's having, I wouldn't say regression, but I think he's having a hard time almost seeing when it's his turn to just take over and do things.
But that's the thing that I'm looking at. But that's what I said during the summer. Like, I think Maxey and in some ways Tobias are like playing well, scoring the ball, but it's like you never know when their shots are going to come. You just don't know. Like they may give Tobias a few plays here and there, and Maxey has the ball in his hands, but it doesn't feel like we're calling plays for him. It just feels like he gets the ball.
Yeah.
Or he gets out in the break and he's able to create a play.
Creates it.
But it's not like we're coming down. And that's the hard part. And that's why I've always said that's the hard part about averaging a lot of points or really averaging and impacting in the game, because it's not really set. It's not enough touches. It's not enough plays in the game to give Joel what he is going to get and give James what he's going to get.
To accommodate James in his 17.
And James has the ball all the
Yeah.
time. So.
Yeah. At least, I mean, Tobias looks like he has the catch and shoot corner 3 role for the most part. He's pretty much like Tucker.
Yes. He's not hesitating on
plus
that.
4 inches.
Knocking it down, especially early in the game. It's like early in the game, he's like ready.
Yeah.
It seems like he get opportunity after opportunity. Then it kind of dies off as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that tells me that's a guy that's not getting plays. He's getting opportunities.
Especially when the starters are on the court together. He's definitely catch and shoot mode. When they stagger him, he has a little more, a longer leash to kind of go and create ISO, post someone up, do a little turnaround.
It's like for him, it's like put him in the pick and roll with Maxey or James. They're going to switch. Let him go out. Let him operate on that smaller guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they double it, then he's going to find the guy. They don't, then let him score a few times. So I don't see stuff like that.
He did it on Buddy a couple times when he was trying to guard him. He was just bullying him down to the lane.
Yes.
Dude, you had the size.
I mean, but the Pacers is different because the Pacers were really just trying to outscore you. Like that's totally how they play.
Mm.
And that team won't beat you unless they shoot great. The way they're playing. To me, the way they're playing. But you go to Toronto the next game, and they are going to switch everything, and they're all outside of one guy around the same size.
Yep.
Yeah.
With Maxey, it looks like he's looking for his turn. Our transition defense has been bad again. And then as far as just an overall
the transition defense, like I don't know how that's. I mean, you got the effort, but I really don't know how we're going to
fix that.
I think you can make it better. I don't know how we're going to make it really good. You got your main Joel, and you have, Tobias or PJ sitting in corners, and Maxey's roaming, and James is attacking, and it's it's just like you have guys and PJ's crashing the boards, and it's like, I don't know.
Even when we make shots, listen, we're on transition defense.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the way that we are. I mean, that's the one way that teams used to address with Shaq was to try to run them and try to get baskets, try to run them up and down, try to get baskets before he gets set in defensively. And then, people not really run into the rim like they used to because the 3-point line is such an emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that. You can run to the rim, and teams are running, getting layups, and especially when James and Maxey are attacking.
And a general prop note, okay? So there's no one specific. Take the best wing scorer to go over in his points against us. Maybe even both wing scorers to go over against us. Take the team's best rebounder to go over rebounds almost every single night. You'll hit it. And then, again, we won 2 quarters against Indiana, okay? Tied 1 and lost 1. Guess which quarter we lost?
Third quarter.
Third quarter again. 10 straight third quarter losses dating back to last postseason. 10 straight. I mean, it's bad. That's more of a pattern, man. Come on, 10 straight.
That's a real stat?
Yeah. 10 straight dating back to we lost all third quarters against Miami and every single game this year. We beat a team by 14 and still lost the third quarter. I mean,
wait. So the last game in Toronto, we lose the third quarter in the Toronto game? Because the Miami game only went 5, and then we've only had 4 games so far. That means the last Toronto game was also.
I need to see. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the last Toronto game too.
Jeez, that's awful.
But it's not good. It's yeah. I'll look it up right now. But yeah, it's been a problem. At least forget about even last year, like 4 straight this year. It's like even the game we win, man. It's.
Yeah, just looking at this season, like you don't even have to talk about last season as much. I mean, because that's the playoffs, but that just makes it worse.
Yeah,
you're looking at, that's interesting.
No, 6 games, Marcus. They beat us at home in Game 6 in Miami.
No. Okay, yeah.
So all 6 games against Miami, 4 games this year, 10 straight.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Really so the question is, here's a question since we're on that topic is, out of those 10 games, and I know you can't have it right now, how many did we have a lead?
Going into the third?
Yes. Basically a halftime lead.
And
did we lose it?
Well, weren't we tied with Milwaukee going to halftime?
You mean I'm going to pull up first.
I think we were tied going to halftime in Milwaukee, and I think we were down by like 4 with Boston in the first 2 games.
So we were losing both of those. So we were losing game 1 and 2 against Miami. Game 3, we were winning. We didn't give up the whole lead. That's the game we won. So we won that game. But yeah, game 3, we were winning going into it, and then they cut the deficit down to like 3. And then in game 4, we were also winning, and they cut the deficit down to 2. And then in game 5, they were already beating us by 6. And then game 6, we were winning going by 1, and they blew us out in the third. So a couple of them we had leads. We didn't blow the whole lead, but they certainly cut into it on most of them. And this season I didn't look into yet, but yeah, Boston. I remember Boston. Did we have the lead in Boston?
No, I think we were down by 2 or.
But they extended the lead in the third.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't know who that's for. Is that a coaching thing? Is that Doc? What is that? We just come out of the third. They just they're eating Chick-fil-A in the locker room at halftime, and we just come out and say, let's just do what we keep doing. Or
we were tied with Boston at half.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a combination of coaching and playing. I mean, guys gotta, I know when I played, it was we would try to win the third quarter, but we would also try to win in phases. We would try to win the first 3 minutes of the quarter. We would try to win before that first TV timeout, which was back then, which was under 6 minutes or whatever it was. Under 6 or 7 minutes, which I don't remember exactly how it was, but you would try to win that time frame. You would try to win that quarter. The quarter, the first 3 minutes, try to win, before the first timeout. That usually takes you to a winning of the quarter if you can do those two things. But I think we're casual. We are casual, offensively and defensively coming out of halftime. And sometimes it's like, defensively, we just got to do it. Offensively, maybe that's where you showcase Maxey and Tobias, who seems to have more jolt, more energy earlier in games, earlier in quarters. You kind of showcase them. Then let James and Joel come behind that. I don't know. It's just the suggestion or example.
It's not even close either. We're losing by an average of like over 7 points. It's like not even like, it's 1 or 2 or close. So
that's what I'm saying. It's both ends. So that's scoring and stops.
Yeah, we're just getting. Just out of the gates, they're just coming out and killing us in the third.
Yeah.
Good teams, bad teams, home, away. It's like it doesn't matter. That stat travels. It's like it doesn't matter.